If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, you can tell me that you hate my videos, but the best way to do that is on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Jadakiss talks about the beef between Diddy and Mase, and Future's oldest son gets arrested. Plus, Quavo and Justin Bieber help out the homeless. Let's talk hip-hop.
I think Mase got a good enough relationship, he could go talk to Diddy. The way we did it on the radio with Angie Ma, that was different. We was young kids. We didn't understand business the way we do now, being business owners and fathers and grown men about it. You know what I mean? Mase got a better relationship with Diddy than we actually had, so he can go talk to him. You know what I mean? But in his defense, I don't know how it's going down, so he doing what he got to do.
Well, let me ask.
I just know I would handle it different.
Oh, okay.
At this point in life, when we did the whole Let the Locks Go campaign, we were still teenagers, or 20 years old, early 20s.
Yeah.
Everybody's grown men now, and they, you know right from wrong, you know what's going on. You can go talk to a man as a man and handle your differences. You know what I mean? Settle your differences without this foolishness or without no social media.
So shout out to MREC TV, right? So that was Jadakiss basically weighing in on the beef between Mase and Diddy, right? And so for y'all that don't know, the whole situation is that Mase, penned a long letter to Diddy on Instagram, basically saying that Diddy's a hypocrite and how can Diddy preach black love and black excellence and ownership of like your masters and your music and everything, when Diddy is, according to Mase, one of the worst business partners to deal with music with, right? Diddy just won an award at the Grammys, and he gave a whole speech talking about how we have to own our own stuff, and that's kind of what triggered Mase, right? So Mase basically said, how could you say that when you made me sell you my publishing for like $20,000? I offered you recently $2 million in cash to get that back, and you told me no, that I had to match, some white boy who wanted to buy my publishing for whatever amount of money, and in that case, Mase is gonna have to wait until he's 50 years old until his publishing reverts back to him, right? Which is several years from now, right? The whole situation is that the reason why they're asking Jadakiss is because Jadakiss was on Bad Boy with Mase and Diddy and Biggie and everybody too, right? And so basically Jadakiss is saying, look, I had the same problem with Puffy when I was younger, and I wanted to get out of my record deal with me, Sheik Luch and Styles P, until Styles P basically like threw a chair at Diddy and was like, no, we want out our contract, and then they were able to get out the contract and get their masters and everything back, right? But the way that Jay-Z kind of practices business, the way that Diddy actually practices business is that if you're a young artist and he's putting a lot of money behind you and you don't know anything about business or promotion or anything, then of course he's going to sign you. He wants you to sign your masters over to him, because that way he has some kind of leverage or something to be like, hey, if you decide that you don't want to ever rap again, at least I own these masters and I can just put together something around your persona and still make this money, right? Diddy also responded to Mase and said that Mase, he lost money on Mase, that for the way that Mase did was he came out with like 2 albums, then he retired for 5 years, then he came back out and dropped another album, then retired for another 3 or 4 years, and he's saying that the way that Mase is in and out the game, that he feels like he don't owe Mase nothing, and actually Mase owes him, right? Which is all kind of, I could understand where Puffy is coming from, right? So at the end of the day, Jadakiss is basically like, yo, we are grown ass men now, and he doesn't understand why in the hell Mase is trying to air Puffy out publicly when he could just probably call Puff and talk to him. And he's saying that Puff's relationship with Mase is a lot closer than Jadakiss's or Styles P or Sheik Luch's relationship was with Puff. So why the hell wouldn't he just call him on some, straight up type shit, right? And I'm sure that he did, but Mase can only offer $2 million only, right? $2 million. I wish Mase offered me $2 million, right? Mase can only offer Puffy $2 million, and Puffy don't want it. So that's why Mase took to, social media to try to get public opinion to sway, Puffy into giving Mase back his publishing, right? And I honestly think that, hey, I see where Puff is coming from, yo. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. All right, so this whole situation is crazy, right? About last week, Future's son, right, his oldest son got arrested, right? Now, Future has mad kids, right? He probably has like literally 10 kids and like 8 baby moms, right? And he had a bunch of kids even before he was, you know, Future, just like Young Thug has mad kids, right? But anyway, we talking about Future. So the whole situation is that Future's oldest son, and I think this is his oldest kid too, got arrested the other day for like, I guess, lying to the police because they asked him like who he was, and he didn't have any ID on him, so he gave him like a fake social security number and a fake name, right? At that point, they arrested him because they knew that he was lying, but then they also gave him more charges. So instead of just lying and falsifying documents and, you know, I guess identity theft even maybe, now they got him for like possession of a firearm, gang activity, stuff like that, right? No drugs, but definitely like gang stuff, like violent stuff, right? He gets arrested, he gets appointed a public defender, right? Which is like what normal people would have if they don't have any money, because, you know, everyone has the right to a defense, to a counsel. But when this story went viral, Future heard about it, and I guess that Future didn't even know that his son got arrested, but he heard about it and he was like, hold up, let me step in. I'm gonna spend whatever it takes so that my son is good and doesn't end up going to prison, right? Because that's what they like to do, especially in Georgia. If you ain't got no money and you young and you black and his son is 17 years old, they will throw you away and be like, okay, cool, next, you know? And the whole situation is that because he had a firearm, they want to try him as an adult since he's so close to being 18. So really and truly, if Future's son gets convicted, he's facing like 20 years in prison, right? So with this, at least he might be able to plead guilty if he really did have a gun on him and maybe only get 2 years or something like that. But the whole situation is, some of Future's baby moms, they're really loud. They're really, you know, all up on social media. They be trying to sue him, all kind of stuff, right? But with this one, I think this is his first baby moms. She's kind of chilling, kind of quiet, right? She did sue him like back in 2006 just to get a little bit more child support, because she says that, you know, Future was lying about how much money he was making and that she needs more money to help raise his son. But other than that, she's been pretty quiet, right? And also this baby mom has said that the reason why Future's son is acting out and, you know, joining gangs and stuff like that is because he kind of feels a certain way because his father is not in his life, right? And also, not only is his father not in his life, but you're 17, so the music that your father makes is directly for your age group and your friends and your peers probably be bumping Future and listening to him all the time. And you see him out there running around with mad money, and bro, you got to get a public defender. So it's like, I'm sure that Future's son probably has a chip on his shoulder and probably a lot of stuff to talk to Future about, right? But hopefully they can get to that. But first, let's keep him out of jail. And, you know, I guess we'll see what happens, yo. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. This is fire, right? So Quavo and Justin Bieber, well, it's really Justin Bieber's song. It's on his new album, and it's called Intentions. And basically, they went to Alexandria House, which is a homeless shelter for women in Los Angeles. And they're like talking to a bunch of women. They're asking them like, what's your intention, right? So first of all, the song is about like a woman who is beautiful and who always holds her own and who is moving throughout life with intention, right? But with this, they kind of wanted to shine light on a lot of women who are fighting and struggling and still trying to fight an uphill battle on their own, right? So they're like interviewing various women. There's one woman who like travels 2 or 3 hours every day to go to college because she's determined to be like the first woman in her family to graduate college. There's another woman who's like a poet who came from like Oklahoma to LA to try to make it big and ended up on Skid Row. There's, you know, the director of Alexandria House who is there just trying to help out different women who were there. A volunteer who works at Alexandria House who just tries to come there as much as he can to inspire people. It's crazy. And then Quavo and Justin Bieber, you know, bought a new car for the girl who travels 2 or 3 hours to college. So now that she doesn't have to get on the bus, right? She can get in her car and maybe just drive 1 hour, right? Which is insane. They actually donated $200,000 to the homeless shelter at Alexandria House too. Then they put a link underneath the video so that people can donate. It just dropped on Friday. Today is Monday. They've already raised $10,000 from people all around the world, because Justin Bieber is an international star. So there's people, you know, from China and different countries in Europe that are sending money, and they're not really sending a lot, you know, $1, $5. But if you got 10,000 people to send $1, raise $10,000, which they did, right? So it's pretty dope. A couple people also donated like $1,000, which is insane. But I'm sure like probably 2 weeks from now, or as this song and video gets, you know, more attention and goes viral, Alexandria House is probably going to be doing really, really good, right? And it's just fire, man. You know, if you can use your art to give back to the community too, right? Let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane on Instagram, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.